To be the best, you've got to beat the best. But many of the top athletes to ever live had their own kryptonite. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we present 10 great athletes that could never beat that one team. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. Michael Jordan demolished basically every legend who stood in his way. Tom Brady can also say the same thing. But there are those athletes who were great in their own right, but failed to build upon their legendary status because they couldn't beat that one team that always stopped them dead in their tracks. Steve Nash, San Antonio Spurs. Steve Nash will always be remembered for his 2 NBA MVP awards, but he'll also be remembered for his inability to take his team to a championship. And a big reason for that is the Spurs. Every time Nash seemed to have a team that could contend for a title, the Spurs always got in the way. Nash's teams met the Spurs in the 98, 2001, 3, 5, 7, and 8 playoffs, losing on every one of those occasions. Nash's combined record against San Antonio over 6 meetings was a terrible 23-8. In 2010, Nash's Suns were finally able to sweep the Spurs in the West semifinals, but they'd fall to the Lakers in the following round. 3 years later, the Spurs swept Nash's Lakers 4-0, giving the Canadian point guard just one series win in 8 tries against the Spurs during his career. It's hard not to think that if not for the Spurs, Nash would have had at least a couple of championship rings. Ben Roethlisberger, New England Patriots. Between 2004 and 16, Ben Roethlisberger led the Pittsburgh Steelers to a pair of Super Bowl victories. He also took them to an additional 3 AFC championship games. But why can't Big Ben and the Steelers win more rings? 2 words: Tom Brady. Roethlisberger beat the Patriots in 2004 and 11. He beat them in 2008 when Tom Brady was injured, so not really worth celebrating. If Ben had beat the Patriots in the 2004 and 16 AFC Championship games, then maybe he would have 4 rings and be the GOAT. Chris Webber, Los Angeles Lakers. Webber is among the greatest NBA players to never win a ring. He was on many great Kings teams. The only problem? Kobe and Shaq said, "You shall not pass." Webber's Kings lost to the Lakers in the 2000 and 2001 playoffs. They were close to finally stopping the Lakers in the 2001 Western Conference Finals. Then, horrible officiating and controversies handed LA another series in 7 games. That's as close as Webber came to taking down that one team that always beat him. Dan Marino, Buffalo Bills. Dan Marino was one of the greatest QBs of the 80s and 90s, but he never won the big one. He can blame the Bills for that. He went 13-17 against them in his career. But Marino's Dolphins also lost to Buffalo in the 1990, 92, and 95 playoffs. That included the 92 AFC Championship game. As such, it was the Bills who lost 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s, not Marino and the Dolphins. Joe Mauer, New York Yankees. We like to think Joe Mauer is a future Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest hitting catchers, if not one of the greatest pure hitters to ever live. Unfortunately, Mauer may retire without a ring, and he can send all the blame to the New York Yankees for that. Those jerks. Mauer and the Minnesota Twins lost to the Yankees in the 2004, 9, and 10 ALDS. Mauer's crew also lost to New York in the 2017 American League wildcard game. The Yankees are so rude to him, it's unfair. Charles Barkley, Chicago Bulls. Many consider Barkley among the greatest NBA players who never won an NBA championship, including us in several hundred videos over the past few years. Sir Charles averaged 22.1 points and 11.7 rebounds per game in his career, but it never mattered when he faced Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Barkley and the 76ers were eliminated by the Bulls in the 1990 and 91 NBA playoffs. Barkley and the Phoenix Suns met the Bulls in the 93 finals. Barkley said it was destiny for the Suns to win, except the Bulls won in 6 games. Because of the Bulls, Barkley couldn't win a ring. Maybe he should have just joined them, a la Kevin Durant. Dale Hawerchuk, Edmonton Oilers. Drafted first overall by the Winnipeg Jets in 1981, Dale Hawerchuk did just about everything the franchise could have asked for. The Hall of Famer finished with 518 career goals and 1,409 points. But if there was ever a number 1 victim of the Oilers' 80s dynasty, it was Hawerchuk and the Jets. They went up against Wayne Gretzky's squad in the 83, 84, 85, 87, 88, and 90 playoffs. The Oilers won all 6 of those playoff series. Look up Kryptonite in the dictionary. You'll probably see a picture of Hawerchuk and the Oilers. Karl Malone, Portland Trail Blazers. You probably expected the Bulls on here. Losing to them in a pair of close playoff series isn't anything to be ashamed of, though. 2 MVP awards, 14 All-Star Game appearances, 25 points, and 10.1 rebounds per game. Yep, Karl Malone is among the most dominant big men in NBA history. But did you know he had a chance to be the GOAT? Thing is, the Portland Trail Blazers wouldn't leave him alone. Clyde Drexler and his squad beat the Jazz in the 1991 and 92 playoffs. In 1999 and 2000, it was Rasheed Wallace's version of the Trail Blazers that dominated Malone's Jazz in the postseason. You gotta feel bad for Karl. He gave it his everything against them, but came up with nothing. Steve Young, Green Bay Packers. Steve Young did just fine taking over for Joe Montana. He's the greatest left-handed quarterback in NFL history. Young could have won more than 3 Super Bowls, but Brett Favre's Packers were always in his way. Favre bested Young's 49ers in the 95, 96, and 97 playoffs. Now we know you're going to bring up Young beating the Packers in the 1998 NFC wildcard game. Maybe because the refs missed Jerry Rice's obvious fumble that should have ended the game. Point stands. Young always lost to the Packers. The refs gifted him that one big victory against them, but that's really all he has. ELGIN, Baylor, Boston Celtics. Consider Baylor an 11-time All-Star, the greatest NBA player to never win a championship. The Lakers legend averaged a whopping 27.4 points and 13.5 rebounds per game. So why wasn't he an NBA champion? 2 words, Boston Celtics. Baylor's Lakers met the Celtics in the NBA Finals 7 times. Boston won every single series. We'll leave it at that. It's pretty self-explanatory. What other great athletes could never beat that one team? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.